This is Bumper to Bumper, the car show. Drive in anxious and cruise out confident. With the best automotive information for your vehicle. And now your hosts, Matt Allen and Dave Riccio.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Bumper Radio. I am Matt Allen, your KTAR car guy today. Dave Riccio is out playing hooky, probably riding his bike or doing some baseball with the kids or something today, enjoying his Saturday. So, and I hope you're enjoying your Saturday too. Nice weather. Looks like I didn't see so much pollen all over my car and driveway today, so maybe that rainstorm helped knock some of that stuff down, and hope you're enjoying your day. I brought today my old faithful pal, Tim Nelson from Virginia Auto Service, to help carry the conversation. Tim, good morning.
Good morning, Matt. How are you?
You got
there we go. Good morning,
push
Matt.
that button
there we go. Push
Timmy.
the button. I was a little bit off there this morning. My allergies are still bothering me.
Are they? You got your head spinning a little bit?
Yeah.
So we might talk about allergies a little bit today. We'll take some phone calls for sure, which, speaking of which, if you do want to give us a call, that's why we're here. The show is for you. You know, we're going to talk about what we're going to talk about, but you talk about what you want. You ask the questions, we're going to give you the answers. So you do that at 602-277-5827. It's 602-277-KTAR. And if you're not driving, you can text us as well at 411-923, and we'll do our best to either answer your question over the air and maybe text back to you during the break or something like that. So we talked last week, Tim, you weren't in, but we talked about the high cost of auto repair. I mean, some of these repairs are shocking. It's like, you know, gosh, Lord, I'm glad I don't have to pay some of this stuff. Even at owning the shop at times, I see some of these bills and it's shocking. Last week it was the options on the cars. Everything's got power windows. You've got LCD display screens. You've got all this technology that you didn't have in, 1982? What did the car have in 82, Tim?
Not much of anything. An 8-track player?
Yeah. There was no I was going to say there's not even a CD player, but I don't even think CD players are coming in very many cars anymore. But power windows were an option. I don't think you can find a new car without power windows today. They didn't have a cup holder, although those don't break. So the car has changed. Some things have got better and easier with electronics. We've gotten rid of some big bulky components, especially when it comes to emissions repair, and things have gotten lighter. But we've added complication. There's the second part that makes this stuff expensive to repair at times is we have to have the tools. We have to have the knowledge. I mean, there's a shortage of technicians out there right now. The technology is complicated, and so it just takes time. A lot more reading than we have to do, and a lot less time being a mechanic and more time being a technician now. So, Tim, some of the things that I think of, again, I mentioned tools. You have to have a lot of specialty tools, and the average consumer might think, well, that doesn't really have anything to do with me, but some of these cars, I mean, we'll take example, we did some pretty extensive work on a Land Rover last week and did a timing chain on the car. Well, that car 15 years ago had one timing chain. This car has 4 timing chains, and instead of one chain and 2 gears, it's got 4 chains and 6 or 8 sprockets now, and 2 timing chain tensioners. But you need $700 worth of tools to make this thing line up.
Yeah, you need a tool to take off the tensioner, a special tool to take off the chain, and and then 15 years ago, your basic tools fix that car.
Yeah, I mean, basic mechanical hand tools or air tools if you wanted to. And we're talking about the Land Rover, but you know what? When this Land Rover was made, that's the same pretty much engine. That's your 5-liter Ford engine. So don't say, oh, I don't have a Land Rover, I'm driving a Ford. Well, guess what? They're cousins. At least, they were related back at that time when it was the Jaguar family. So your Jaguar's got that, so your old Crown Vic's got the same Crown Victoria's got some of the same stuff as the Land Rover, so you may think you're in the clear because you don't have that high-end European car, but it's got the same DNA under the hood. On that car you've got to, it used to be you take the fuel injectors out to get the intake manifold off, and you put on a new 99-cent O-ring and put a little bit of petroleum jelly on it before you stick it back in the slot. And now what do we have to have? We have a $170 puller because to pull the fuel injector out, you can't even get the things out without this special tool. You've got to, instead of a 99-cent O-ring, there's a $26 kit to resize the seals. Then it takes a $180 tool to install this special Teflon seal. So you see where I'm going with this. It's the equipment necessary. So that makes things expensive at times. But, Tim, I think there's also a miscommunication of terminology when we're talking to the customer. And you talk to a lot more of them than I do. But I can think of some scenarios where I know I've done it in the past. We haven't communicated the repair well. Or the way that you approach a repair might make the job seem more expensive, but it's not. And Tim, we talked before the show, your General Motors products, so your Luminas, your Impalas, or whatever, had the 3.1 or
the 3.1 and the 3.8 with the intake problems.
Yeah, so your Buicks. I mean, any General Motors front-wheel drive car, they used to have a problem all the time with the intake manifold gasket leaking. And what would it cost to do an intake manifold gasket to fix the problem?
Well, just the basic repair is probably $400 to $600.
Yeah, so typically a customer would come in, you got a car with 80, 90,000 miles maybe, and you would have a coolant leak. And it oftentimes is the intake manifold gasket. And you're right, Tim, we could fix that for $600. You could call around, which that's a whole other story, call around for price. But you could survey shops that are very identical in quality and price and product that they're using, similar shop, and everybody would come up with the same price, $600. But then you can also do that job and think about, okay, the car's got 85,000 miles on it. I'm halfway to the labor to replace my spark plugs. I could probably put spark plug wires on because they're at 80,000 miles, and we're going to take advantage of all this labor. So what happens in this case, this job creates a situation where you want to take, I call it economies of scale, if you will. We're going to have this thing taken apart and gain access to parts that you're going to need access to in another year. So you can buy the parts now or buy them later. And so that intake manifold job, Tim, what are some examples of the other things that we might add on to that makes sense to do?
Well, yeah. I mean, like, for example, the spark plugs, where you're going to want to do them now because you're more than halfway there. Instead of paying the full labor down the road, the thermostat's right there. Mm-hmm. You might have one of the hoses off, a radiator hose off. You want to service the coolant system. So when you start adding all that other stuff, you're going to save labor, but now your job might be $900 or even $1,200.
Right. So what we've done, we've added parts because I always say, depending on, in most cases, you take a car with 80,000 miles on it. If I'm going to take the old radiator hose off to do the job, and it's sitting on the bench waiting to be put back on the car, and a new radiator hose is $20, why? And there's no labor. Why on earth would I ever recommend to our customer to put that old hose back on the car? It doesn't cost any more to put a new one on. You're simply buying product at that point, right?
And in theory, you're saving money because you put that old one back on, and then the next summer it blows out. And now you've overheated, and who knows what's going to happen then?
Possibly that's that. Well, and that goes. So we'll stick to this intake manifold job, for example. So we communicate that to the customer, and this is where we have to do a good job of explaining, and just as much on the consumer as asking questions. Why is it that expensive? Because we get this, Tim. Every shop gets it. Go read reviews. I went here and they said it was this much, and I called other places and it was $400 less. Well, I got to tell you, folks, if you're getting estimates that are $400 less, you are not getting the same you're not getting the same gallon of ice cream. You're not getting the same pie, the same steak, you're not getting the same widget. They can't have prices that are that far off. And this is an example. We talk to the customer, we tell them about the intake manifold gasket, and then they remember intake manifold gasket, and they remember $1,200. And then they call the next shop, and they say, how much for the intake manifold? $600, and now all of a sudden you're $600 overpriced. So that's a perception thing. The other examples of just, I don't know.
Well, I think I was going back to the customer. I think a lot of times, too, the customer maybe not informed enough doesn't like to ask questions because they're thinking that they may not know about it, so they think they might be feeling like they're not smart about it. So if the customer asks more questions at the same time, and the service advisor talks with them about it, that can gap that communication where you come up with, oh, I called the other shop and they're half your price, but they didn't tell them that I needed the radiator hoses, I was going to also do the spark plugs and all that kind of add-ons. That's going to be in the long run cost effective.
Are you ever offended when a customer asks you questions?
No.
I mean, I like it.
Yeah.
It's funny, and they say, you can explain it to me, but I wouldn't know what the heck. You can tell me anything. Like, no, don't sell yourself short. Want to know. Now, some people just truly don't care. It's just, hey, it's maintenance. I don't care. I'm busy. I'm whatever. It doesn't matter to me. Just fix my car. But if you're interested, take the time, ask the questions. We love to show you. We love to show you pictures. I mean, we do digital inspections at our shop.
Oh, yeah. 2 years ago, we started a program where we have actually digital pictures of your actual car where we email it to you. So when we're talking to you, you can be looking at that intake leaking, that radiator hose you may just say, well, that looks fine. And then that's when you explain to them, well, that hose is 80,000 miles old. So the digital pictures really does help, and it helps the consumer see what their car actually looks like when it has a breakdown issue or a part that has actually failed.
Yeah, and we do that at Virginia Auto Service, and I know a lot of the shops you'll find at bumper-to-bumper-radio.com, they're doing it. And it's not the can jobs. A lot of dealerships and stuff, they get you these stock photos. It's a car. It's a hose. The stuff we're using, the stuff the bumper shops are using are your car. So when we come back, we've got open lines at 602-277-5827, 602-277-KTAR. We're going to take your questions. We'll talk about phone quotes next and answer all your calls. We'll be right back.
Matt and I share car repair tips weekly to help you keep your car safely on the road, and a few of them are easy to do.
Yep, you're right, Dave. And one of the easiest is to have a dependable battery that you can trust to get you started no matter what the conditions.
Interstate batteries are what we trust at Bumper to Bumper Radio. In fact, they're what we use at our own shops for our customers.
If you're like most people, your car is one of your most valuable investments. Make sure you take care of that investment with the power necessary to get you where you need to be. Interstate batteries are America's #1 replacement brand with the factory fresh guarantee, and they're easy to find at good shops everywhere.
Cars or trucks, Interstate has you covered with long life and performance in our harsh desert climates with products like Megatron Plus. It carries a 30-month free replacement and a 6-year performance guarantee.
Interstate batteries. No battery lasts longer. Check them out at interstatebatteries.com.
There's nothing more important than family. Hi, Kurt Rock for Kurt's Auto Repair. Family owned and operated and bumper-to-bumper radio preferred. We've been taking care of Valley families and their auto care needs with a perfect Better Business record for over 27 years. Come experience the difference our ASE MasterTechs can make for you and your family at Kurt's Auto Repair. Just east of I-17 at 22nd Avenue and Bell Road, or online at mycarhurts.com. Gas or diesel, foreign or domestic. If your car hurts, take it to Kurt's.
Hi, I'm Kurt Morgan, owner of Shadow Mountain Auto Service in Phoenix. I'm also a college automotive instructor, and I've been a technician for over 30 years. In that time, I've seen all kinds of games and gimmicks in the auto repair business, the worst of which seems to be associated with transmissions. I think it's because, to most, including technicians, the inside of a transmission is a mystery. So when one of our valued customers has a transmission problem, we send them straight to Tri-City Transmission. No games, no gimmicks. That's Tri-City Transmission.
Who can you trust here in the Valley to repair your ride? This is Bumper to Bumper Radio. KTAR News on 92.3 FM.
All righty, welcome back to Bumper Radio. I'm Matt Allen, your KTAR car guy. Dave Riccio is out playing today, enjoying the nice weather. I hope you are too, and hope the allergies are down with that nice rain. I think all that, I got blasted at my house with rain the other night, Tim. Did you? Or not rain, wind. A little bit of rain, but man, the wind, the pool is.
It went from being quite warm to like cold.
Yeah, actually, I was
about
talking
a half
to you.
hour. We were talking.
I think it dropped like 30 degrees or something like that. something crazy. But, you know, we're going to be bracing for the heat, so everybody's going to be thinking about their air conditioners and whatnot pretty soon. But today we're talking about whatever you want to talk about. You can give us a call at 602-277-5827, 602-277 KTAR. You can text us at 411-923. And we've talked about the high cost of auto repair. Last week, the technology end of it, what got us where we are today. And then today, just the communication about what the repair is. They're expensive, but sometimes what the difference in the repair is by adding extra parts and doing things to make it a whole job rather than just focused in on the fixed problem. And then some of the tools and equipment and time and technology necessary that makes this stuff more expensive. One thing I want to touch on real quick before we go to the phones, though, is getting prices over the telephone. You know, we had a it happens to us all the time, and it's difficult. People get mad when you can't give them a price, but gosh, we could paint ourselves into it's a no-win situation when you give a price over the phone for a number of different reasons. I might tell you a price that's too high, and I'm wrong. Like I'm telling you $800 because I don't really know off the top of my head, but it's really only a $400 job, and now you think I'm a ripoff. Or I tell you $400 and you come in and then we look at it and go, oh, this is the other whatever, the other type of car, the other model. This is the S versus the basic or something like that. And instead of being $400, it's $800, and now you're mad at me. You know, or I'm comparing, you know, you're getting a low-quality remanufactured product versus a new one. So there's all kinds of reasons it could go wrong. We have an example. A gentleman called one of the bumper-to-bumper shops with his Dodge Charger and wanted spark plugs. How much to replace spark plugs? And they said, oh, you probably want to replace the spark plug wires at the same time because of the mileage. My car doesn't have wires. Well, it has spark plug boots, which are on the coil, which people refer to as wires. So we're already confusing terms. And right there at that point in the conversation, the consumer now didn't trust the shop because they said spark plug wires and his car doesn't have spark plug wires. Well, one model of the Charger has spark plug wires and another model of the Charger doesn't. So there's that. And then they gave him a price and it was high. And then he says, you know, and I did it myself for $35 in parts in 1 hour. Well, I can promise you the price of $800 that they gave you was not for a job that takes an hour and has $35 in parts. Again, it's that communication of what really needs to be done. So when you need a repair done, I understand you got to have an idea of the price. Just go to the shop. When you have the relationship that we always talk about, that's how you're going to have successful repairs and no stress. So we're going to get to the phones. We're going to go with Dean in Phoenix first. Lincoln Towncar. Dean, what can we help you with today?
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Got a Lincoln 2001 Towncar Signature Series that blew the plug out, if you're familiar with that term, but it just, I was sitting after coming out, getting a sandwich, and boom, it just blew the plug out, and got the kit, put that back in, and then it blew that out like 4 months later, and now my situation's kind of exactly like you're talking about, costs and getting quotes, and I've been dealing with a myriad of problems on that. So I just don't know what you suggest because, you know, if you try to just do one side, they say you shouldn't just do one head, and you got to do both, and it starts getting cost prohibitive at that point. It's, you know, more than what the car's worth.
Well, yeah, I mean we have this same scenario at times. So first let's talk about the repair, and if we can, we'll talk about what the car is worth. But the repair, you're right. I mean, what happens is, so those of you listening that don't have a Ford, haven't heard about this, there's very, very few spark plug threads on that car. And then the other problem is, in the engineering, the spark plug threads protrude a little bit down into the cylinder. And through the combustion process, you get carbon. You always hear us talking about cleaning carbon from the engine. That carbon is very hard. It gets on the inside of the threads. So then when you go to loosen that spark plug, that carbon just wipes out the threads of the cylinder head where the plug screws in, or somebody over tightened it, or, you know, a number of different reasons could happen. And so then what happens, the compression blows the spark plug out. There's a kit to repair that. It usually works. It sounds like it did for about 4 months. I know there's another kit to use to repair after you've already done the repair, a double oversized spark plug insert, but they usually don't work. So now where Dean is, he's got to pull the cylinder head off. And then you're talking about those timing chains, and this is where it goes. Now, if this was a used car lot, that's the guy that's going to fix the car as bare bones as he can. That guy's going to go in. Let's just say they're going to take the cylinder head off. They're probably going to at least do the 4 spark plugs in that one cylinder head. They might just repair the one and put it back together. Now, Tim, if we were doing that in our shop and a guy was going to he says to you, hey, this is my car. This is my 01 Lincoln. Maybe I'm using it for my ride service. Maybe I'm using it because this is just my car, and I'm going to keep it. And it's got 80,000 or 90,000 on it, and I want to keep it. Now, how would you do that repair? How would we do that?
Well, now we're going to probably do both. We're definitely going to do both cylinder heads because we don't want to do one side and then the same thing happen again on the left bank or right bank, vice versa. So we're going to do the cylinder head gaskets. We're going to do spark plugs. We're going to do...
We might do the timing chain. I mean, now someone else might use the old timing chains, but with 80 or 90,000 miles on them, they're probably stretched out. So we're going to do those. And then
the tensioners.
A couple hoses. You got to have
the hoses, yes, the heater hoses.
Yeah, a lot of the wear items that come off the car that could cause you a problem in the next year or 18 months, we're going to want to replace those. So, Dean, I don't envy your position. You've just got to, find the shop and try and get the best scenario for the pricing and go for it. Now, on the other side, I might say, okay, we're going to pull all the spark plugs out and see what happens. So at this point, you're committed to the job. So let's go to the other side, pull them out, put new ones in, torque them in with a torque wrench using the exact spec, see how they work. If that side works fine, maybe you consider not doing that side because you're not going to change the spark plugs for a while.
Lots of options.
What's another one that it makes sense to do more things? We talked about the timing chain, radiator, for example, Tim.
Yeah, when you're doing a radiator, you're going to want to do the hoses, the thermostat, service the coolant system at the same time, because you can do the bare bottom, nothing, just a radiator and add coolant to it.
And that's the patch to get you on the road. But I think most shops, like our shop, like the shops you're going to find on bumper-to-bumperradio.com, we're not just fixing the car today. We're not that short-sighted to get you down the road. We're thinking about the future. We're thinking about these things. And this is where the relationship with your auto mechanic, with your service advisor, with your shop comes in. And this, again, is where asking questions. Tim, should I replace the hoses? Should we do this other stuff? Or why do I do that stuff? Ask the why question and then get the answer.
Because it's going to save you. It's going to save you money in the long run.
In the long run, we'll have some open lines when we get back, and we'll be getting to Tom, Owen, France, and Daisy after the break.
See, that's where people think you're more expensive.
It sounds like they've just had the accurate automotive experience. We're family-owned and operated and have served the Mesa, Tempe, Gilbert communities for over 22 years. We focus on building long-lasting relationships and, listening to you so that we can understand, meet, and exceed your expectations. One location, 14 bays, 88 years of automotive expertise, and a passionate commitment to customer service and excellence. My name is Lee Weatherby, and I approve this message because it's true. We love what we do, and we want to do it for you. Accurate Automotive, the home of friends serving friends.
Hi, Lisa Henry with Russ Lyon Sotheby's International Realty. Have you been thinking maybe the time is right to move, but you're not sure if you have enough equity in your home or if it really is a good time? Well, home values have increased significantly over the past few years, and interest rates are still historically low. For how long? No one knows. But for every 1% increase in the interest rate, the result is about a 10% loss in purchasing power. So it might be a really great time to sell your home and either upsize or downsize to a new home while the interest rates are still low. Contact me via my website at lisareneehenry.com or direct at 480-330-9530 for a no-obligation market valuation on your home and to hear about our global online marketing plan designed to sell your home quickly for top dollar. Again, that's lisareneehenry.com, 480-330-9530. Come experience the difference a truly customer-focused real estate agent can make.
Trust. It's hard to earn and sometimes even harder to find. If you live or work in downtown Phoenix, Matt Allen's Virginia Auto Service is celebrating over 20 years of award-winning service at the corner of 7th Street and Virginia. Recognized as one of the best service shops in the country, their customers have come to trust Virginia Auto Service for its A+ rating by the BBB, 2-year 24,000-mile warranties, and free transportation to and from your home or office. 20-plus years of earning your trust. Virginia Auto Service. They're serious about service.
Arizona's news station. KTAR. On air, 92.3 FM. Online at KTAR.com. And streaming live on the KTAR News app. Your breaking news and traffic. Now.
It's 11:30. I'm Tom Perumian. Here's our top story. Police locking down the Bellagio Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas after an armed robbery at the Rolex store inside the hotel carried out by masked men. Lieutenant Carlos Hank with Las Vegas PD says people have been detained.
They attempted to flee the scene in a vehicle. That vehicle failed to start for them. They tried to carjack some other people. That didn't go so well. They were unable to carjack those people. They subsequently then fled on foot.
It's still unclear if detained individuals are suspects. The search for everyone involved continues. President Donald Trump sounding an optimistic note after the House fails to act on the Republican health care overhaul bill. Trump tweeting today, Obamacare will explode, we'll get it all together and piece together a great health care plan for the people, unquote. John Kasich isn't abandoning his goal of a federal balanced budget amendment. The Republican Ohio governor says it's ever more important as the U.S. national debt ticks toward $20 trillion. Kasich says the issue isn't partisan, but crucial to a sustained economic prosperity. As a 2016 presidential contender, Kasich pledged to balance the federal budget within 8 years. And now for a check on traffic, here's Mike Daniels in the RMEGold.com Traffic Center.
Thanks, Tom. US 60 westbound east of Priest Drive. That crash that was blocking the HOV in two left lanes has cleared. The HOV lane still is blocked, but all the lanes are open, and looks like they should have that cleared any moment now. We do have a wreck on 43rd Avenue and Peoria, and a crash on Tatum Boulevard just south of Doubletree Ranch Road. This wreck involving a bicycle. This report brought to you by the Lund Mortgage Team. Increased property values mean you might be able to finally drop your mortgage insurance. Ask the Lund Mortgage Team how you can start saving hundreds of dollars every month. Call 623-875-9940 today. I'm Mike Daniels, KTAR News.
It's going to be partly cloudy to mostly clear through Monday. Highs will be in the upper 70s. Lows overnight under those clouds in the high 50s. Right now, 75 degrees in downtown Phoenix. Weather brought to you by Howard Air. I'm Tom Perumian on Arizona's news station, KTAR News.
Start your Monday morning with the latest breaking news, plus traffic and weather every 6 minutes on the Valley's only all-news morning show, Arizona's Morning News. Monday morning 5 till 9 on Arizona's news station, KTAR News, 92.3 FM, and streaming live on the KTAR News app.
3 world-class resorts and 6 award-winning golf courses. That's what awaits you at the J.W. Marriott Luxury Golf Group. In Scottsdale, the legendary J.W. Marriott Camelback Inn and Golf Club with 36 holes of renowned golf at the Herds and Fry Ambiente and Arthur Hills Padre courses. In Tucson, the scenic J.W. Marriott Star Pass Resort and Spa with 27 holes of Arnold Palmer Signature Golf. And in Phoenix, the Faldo and Palmer courses at the spectacular Wildfire Golf Club at the J.W. Marriott Desert Ridge Resort. Come experience the J.W. Marriott Luxury Golf Group.
Hi, I'm Dave Riccio, owner of Tri-City Transmission. Well, you may have come to know us for being a transmission expert. What you may not know is that our customers regularly ask us why we don't perform repairs to the rest of the vehicle. You guys are so great. Why work on just the transmission? Well, the requests became hard to ignore, and 3 years ago, we began to build an infrastructure to perform general automotive repair. We weren't going to do general repair if we couldn't be great at it. So in 2013, we began the soft opening of Tri-City Auto Repair on Smith Road. We brought on ASE Master Technicians to work side by side with our Master Transmission Technicians. The combination of the best in both of these trades has created a synergy that allows us not only to fix your transmission, but to service and repair your whole car, and to do it well. Let's face it, the modern car has become so integrated. We believe all of our expert knowledge puts us ahead of the curve. Find us at TricityTransmission.com or TempeAutoRepairShop.com. That's TempeAutoRepairShop.com.
There's nothing more important than family. Hi, Kurt Rock for Kurt's Auto Repair. Family owned and operated and bumper-to-bumper radio preferred. We've been taking care of Valley families and their auto care needs with a perfect Better Business record for over 27 years. Come experience the difference our ASE Master Techs can make for you and your family at Kurt's Auto Repair. Just east of I-17 at 22nd Avenue and Bell Road, or online at mycarhurts.com. Gas or diesel, foreign or domestic. If your car hurts, take it to Kurt's.
Fix it or forget it. This is the show that'll help you decide what to do with your car. Bumper to Bumper Radio. KTAR News on 92.3 FM.
You know, Tim, speaking of fix it or forget it, I've got a couple emails in here, people saying, you know, I've got this car with this many miles and it needs this, and that, X, Y, and Z. Should I fix it? Another one talking about the clutch in their Toyota. So we're going to come back maybe later about should I fix it? Should I sell it? You know, should I stay or should I go? Maybe we need some clash before that.
Should I stay or should I go now?
For that segment. So welcome back to Bumper Radio. I'm Matt Allen here with Tim Nelson from Virginia Auto Service helping me out a little bit today. Dave Riccio is out not playing hooky. He's playing baseball. He's out with his son, coaching some Little League and doing what he should be doing on a Saturday, enjoying that time. So we, of course, are here for you, though, every single Saturday at 11 on Bumper to Bumper Radio. Questions, concerns, anything about your car, you've got a topic, you want to talk to us, you can do that at 602-277-5827. You can send us emails. We don't always answer them. The purpose of bumper-to-bumper-radio.com for the website is for you to go find the trusted shops that Dave and I talk about, places where you can feel confident and comfortable and establish that relationship. There's a contact link there if you have a shop that you think should be part of our network because they're so great. We'd love to have some new good shops join us who are out there doing good in the industry. We'll answer if you have a question or something you want us to use for a show topic. You can send us there at bumper-to-bumper-radio.com. And while you're there, find our Facebook page and give us a like. We could always like to have new friends. So we are going to go with Tom, a very patient Tom in Gilbert with a 2006 Toyota Tacoma. What can we help you with, Tom?
Headlights.
Uh-oh. What do you got?
I got in this morning, dude. We had to go up north, and it seemed like they were real dim compared to what they used to be, but they're the original bulbs. Mm-hmm. I got to looking on the internet, and I get more confused every time I look.
Yeah, amen to that. What were you looking at on the internet, for different bulbs or why the lights might be dim?
No, I was just looking for bulbs.
Uh-huh.
And there's a whole bunch of different nomenclatures.
Right. Okay, well, on your truck, more likely, when we hear complaints about this, I'm going to talk about two different things. First, just the aesthetics of the car. You need to stand back in front of the headlights, and if those things are yellow and faded, you need to either have them sanded and buffed, and there's a restoration that we can do to your headlights. A lot of the car washes do it, a lot of the shops do it. But, Tim, it doesn't always last that long. It depends on how far gone they are.
Yeah, you got to be careful because if they're too far gone, you're just going to throw money down the drain.
Yeah.
And some places do a $69 one, no matter if they're too far gone or not, just don't work.
Yeah, I mean, we do them. Sometimes they don't work, and I feel bad, so we don't charge you.
Yeah.
But if they've turned yellow, you need to correct that. That could be your only problem. But if you truly have a dim headlight, we need to make sure that there's power and all that kind of stuff. You got to have power. You got to have ground. So those things should be working. If the car's never been in a front-end collision or anything like that, I doubt you would have any issues there. Now headlight bulbs. I know they've got these Sylvania Silver Stars they advertise. They further distance you can see, better lighting characteristics, a clearer light. So I would certainly see no problems, and we do it quite often in the shop. You just upgrade the bulbs and buy the good bulbs. You can go a step further and get the HID kits and add extra lighting. Then we're talking about the really bright stuff. But if you just want standard stuff that you can plug in and don't have to do any work, you're going to be able to get those in your popular auto parts store. And a lot of times those Silver Stars and the higher performance bulbs come in a 2-pack anyway. So, Tom, I hope that helps you. Good luck with that. And we're going to go with Owen in Surprise. And Owen's got a Mitsubishi Lancer 2009. How can we help you, Owen? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio. Owen, are you there? I know he's there. Here's some work going on. We're going to put you back on hold, Owen. And we're going to check with Kelly in Phoenix, who has a 1996 Cadillac Fleetwood. How can we help you with the Cadillac, Kelly?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Going great.
I have a 96 Fleetwood that when I sit at an idle, like at a stop sign, red light, or anything like that, it gives like a little shake, like it'll jerk a little bit, almost like a misfire, but there's no consistency with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so like if I'm accelerating, it accelerates just fine. There's no misfiring on it. It just does it when I come to a stop.
And so as you're slowing down, but once you come to the stop, you feel the sensation of a miss or a shake or something like that?
Yes, sir.
Any check engine lights on or any warning lights on the dash?
No.
No, okay. And that Cadillac, that 96, is the first year of the OBD2, the second generation of diagnostics, and they're not as sophisticated as they are now, obviously, and they don't always pick up the misfires. But it doesn't necessarily have to be a misfire on the engine. Tim, I know what your first thought is.
Yeah, I mean, and most likely, I would say without a check engine light and it goes away when you accelerate, it's probably got a weak or sagging or broken engine mount.
Yeah, it could be engine mount. So what you might be feeling, Owen, when you're the other sensation that might help us confirm this is when you go to accelerate from a stop, you might feel like a thump or a thud in the floorboard or a sensation of a delayed from you step on the gas. And if the motor mount's broken, you're going to feel that engine moving around. The other thing you can do to check the engine mounts is raise the hood and power brake it. You can set the parking brake. Don't have anybody in front of the car. Make sure you're being safe and cautious. And you step on the brake, feather the gas lightly, you're going to see some movement from the engine. But if that thing jumps up and lifts up, you've got a bad mount. You can do the same thing in reverse. It's funny, we had a Cadillac in the shop yesterday, Tim, and it was just in for an oil change. You walk out to the shop, and you could see the engine leaning. I mean, it was falling over towards the passenger side of the car. That's an obvious broken motor mount, but that one's not going to be the one that lifts up necessarily because it's on the side of the engine. There's no rotational force to make that twist. But I also might think about a harmonic balancer.
Yeah, you can have a balancer that's worn out or starting to wobble a little bit. That happens quite often on the GMs.
And that's going to transfer in. You might feel that more all the way through the acceleration range, though. And it still could be an engine misfire. So Kelly. Yeah, that was Kelly. Yeah, you're just going to have to just go through a couple things and just do some checking. You know, go to your shop, talk to them about your symptoms, let them know what you're feeling. And, if you don't have that shop, go to bumpertobumperradio.com and we'll help you find one there. So we've got some open lines, 602-277-5827. It's 602-277-KTAR. And again, regardless of our topic, every Saturday we're here to answer questions for you because this is what the show's about. So we're going to grab Dave in Mesa real quick, and he's got a 2009 Honda Civic LX. Dave, how can we help you?
Good morning, Matt and Tim. Yes, I've got a 2009 Civic LX, and I've got 76,562 miles on it. And I was wondering, in the order of importance, what type of services do you think I should get as far as like transmission fluid, brake fluid? I've had nothing major done other than oil changes, brakes, filters, tires, and wipers.
And so, round numbers, we've got 80,000 miles.
76,562.
Exactly, right?
Exactly. I just got it today.
Wait a minute. You just got the car today, or you just?
No. I just took the mileage today.
Okay, you just got the mileage off today. So now, have you ever done transmission service? Have you ever done radiator flush, or you've never done any of the small maintenance like that?
No, I've never done any of that. I'm kind of worried. I don't want the car to fall apart, so I thought I'll be needing to get that. And, I figured you guys would know kind of in the matter of importance what I should maybe get done first.
Okay, you're in Mesa. So if you don't have a shop and you're doing it yourself, of course you can find those on Bumper to Bumper. You've got Mesa Auto Works. You've got Accurate Auto Repair. But what I would do is I would pull out the owner's manual and go back and look and see what you missed at 60,000. See what you have at 75, because there is a 75,000-mile service on the Honda, and then see what you have at 90. The second part of that then is I need to do an inspection. Somebody needs to look at the car and tell us what the true condition of all these fluids are, and then from there, then we can start to prioritize. Off the top of my head, I would probably say transmission service. No, without a doubt, that's twice missed by now.
And coolant.
But the transmission service on the Honda, we only drain and fill. So depending on how dirty it is, you may drain and fill it at 75. You may consider doing it again when you hit 90. And I like doing things on interval, on easy mileages to remember. Cooling system is that's got the long life coolant in it, Tim, but again, if it's really bad, I'm going to change it, or if it's getting bad. But if it's not, it's going to depend on the timing belt. The timing belt might be that might even have a timing belt in it.
Yeah, that might have a chain.
That one might have a chain. Where I was going to go with that, if you have a chain, we talk about let's do more repairs sometimes. This is one where I'm going to say no. Why are we going to flush the coolant now and then lose all that labor and all that job to when we replace the timing belt and the water pump possibly in a year at 90,000 miles? So that's what we need to talk about. When are we going to do these other things? I'd like to see some fuel injection cleaning done on that car. They do those carbon up, and they have EGR valves at times.
And the thing that a lot of people forget about now is the brake fluid. You want to make sure that doesn't have any extra moisture in it because of all the ABS components now.
Yeah.
So that's a forgotten service, I think, at a lot of places.
It's definitely overlooked. The other thing that's overlooked a lot on the Honda is the valve adjustment. People change the valve cover gaskets, and they're right there, and they're not even not even adjusting the valves.
So here's a great example of we're trying to speculate over the phone where it needs to be into a shop. If you have a shop, was it Dave? Bring it into that shop, and they can give you a baseline of what needs to be done and prioritize it for you.
Yeah.
And like Matt said, the coolant might need to be done now, maybe, but if it's going to have a belt at 90, then don't waste the money now.
And same thing with brake fluid. I try to tie now. There are certain intervals where you should service the brake fluid. There's a test to do it, so we know we're validating. Yes, it does need to be done, but then sometimes it's prescribed at 30,000, or sometimes it's every 2 years, or every whatever. But depending if you're off on your cycle and your mileage, I may want to just say, nah, you know what, the brake fluid's bad today, but we're going to be doing brakes in 3 months. Let's do it all together. Let's just combine this, because again, it's less expensive to service the brake fluid while you're doing a brake job. So we're trying to help you save money and do things together. So Dave, I hope that helps you. We're going to get with Wes and Kyle, and we've probably got another open line or two at 602-277-5827, and we can take your calls and answer your car questions, and we'll be right back.
It sounds like they've just had the accurate automotive experience. We're family-owned and operated and have served the Mesa, Tempe, Gilbert communities for over 22 years. We focus on building long-lasting relationships and, listening to you so that we can understand, meet, and exceed your expectations. One location, 14 bays, 88 years of automotive expertise, and a passionate commitment to customer service and excellence. My name is Lee Weatherby, and I approve this message because it's true. We love what we do, and we want to do it for you. Accurate Automotive, the home of friends serving friends.
Matt and I share car repair tips weekly to help you keep your car safely on the road, and a few of them are easy to do.
Yep, you're right, Dave. And one of the easiest is to have a dependable battery that you can trust to get you started no matter what the conditions.
Interstate batteries are what we trust at Bumper to Bumper Radio. In fact, they're what we use at our own shops for our customers.
If you're like most people, your car is one of your most valuable investments. Make sure you take care of that investment with the power necessary to get you where you need to be. Interstate Batteries are America's #1 replacement brand with the factory fresh guarantee, and they're easy to find at good shops everywhere.
Cars or trucks, Interstate has you covered with long life and performance in our harsh desert climates with products like Megatron Plus. It carries a 30-month free replacement and a 6-year performance guarantee.
Interstate Batteries. No battery lasts longer. Check them out at interstatebatteries.com.
Trust. It's hard to earn and sometimes even harder to find. If you live or work in downtown Phoenix, Matt Allen's Virginia Auto Service is celebrating over 20 years of award-winning service at the corner of 7th Street and Virginia. Recognized as one of the best service shops in the country, their customers have come to trust Virginia Auto Service for its A+ rating by the BBB, 2-year 24,000-mile warranties, and free transportation to and from your home or office. 20-plus years of earning your trust. Virginia Auto Service. They're serious about service.
Bree found the music.
You got to let me know. Should I stay or should I go?
We are definitely going to have to keep that one in queue when we do our should I sell it or should I keep it, right? So thanks for finding that one, Bree. You're a little charged up there. So yeah, a lot of people are out there driving around. Maybe we'll do that next week. We will. We'll talk about should I stay or should I go now. And I know there's a lot of people out there driving around just saying, do I need to fix this car? Is it worth it? When do I not fix it? What's the point to just throw in the towel? So we'll dive into that next week. So welcome back to Bumper Radio. We're finishing up our last segment today. And before we get back into too much car stuff, I do want to give a shout out to one of my employees, Robert. He has been with me a long time, I always mess up. It's over 10 years.
10 years.
But Robert's always had a little side bicycle business going, and he just is having the grand opening of his bicycle shop today. So he's down at 1028 Grand Avenue. So Grand Avenue and 11th Avenue in that area. Most hated bicycles. And I'm not sure where that came up with, but I got to tell you, Robert provides our loaner bikes that we use at the shop. And for those that don't know, downtown area, a lot of customers come into Virginia Auto, and then we give them a ride to work and whatnot. But we also have bicycles that people enjoy to ride home or ride to work. It's funny, you get the businessman comes in his suit, and he puts his briefcase and his coat in the basket and throws a rubber band around his pants on his ankle and keep his shorts out of his pants out of the chain and rides the bike. But so Robert provides those, and he builds a lot of custom cool bikes, accessories, all the bling. I mean, all these spokes and lights and lowrider bikes and stretch bikes. So that's at 1028 Grand Avenue. They're going to have a bike ride at 2 o'clock today, a kickoff grand opening bike ride, and over $2,000 in giveaways. So if you want to go out for a bike ride this afternoon, head down and see Robert at Most Hated Bikes and Accessories on Grand Avenue. Now back to the calls, Tim. We got to get down to the real business today and we're going to try Owen with the Mitsubishi Lancer one more time, see if he's there. Owen, are you with us this time? Owen set the phone down, or he's got his phone. Well, it's not muted, so sorry, Owen, next time. Or send us an email, and we'll try to answer you on air next week. We're going to try, who are we going to try, Tim? Wes in Phoenix has a 2002 GMC Sierra. What can we help you with today, Wes?
Hi, good morning. Thank you, gentlemen, for taking the call. My Sierra is, when it's cold, when the weather dropped in the winter, and I'm just starting up the truck. After it runs for about a minute, it's making a clanging sound in the middle for a few seconds, then it goes away. Then a minute or so later, it may do it again. It might happen 2 or 3 times. When the weather is warm, like above 72 degrees, it doesn't happen. So it's only been doing it in the winter, and after the couple of times, then it doesn't happen again. The truck's running fine. I'm wondering if you guys might have any idea what that might be.
And this is just a noise, right?
Yes, just a noise.
Now, would you know what an exhaust leak sounds like? Like a something like that, maybe?
No, no. It's more a metal against metal clanging.
So it's a metallic noise. Oh, boy. If you rev the engine while it's doing it, does it change the tone or nature of the noise?
Not that I've noticed, but usually when it's happening, I'm pulling out of my my driveway, so I can't really rev it up too high.
Right. Now, does it have any difference in whether the car's in drive or reverse or neutral, for that matter, park? I mean, if you're just sitting still, would you be able to duplicate the noise?
I can't duplicate it at all. Again, it's just a matter of when the weather is cold, and it only happens for a few seconds, and then it goes away.
Well, the good news is the weather's getting warm, and you may not hear it for a while. But on a serious note, we could speculate all day over the radio here. We could talk, and even if you could make the noise so I could hear it over the phone and over the air, it'd still be difficult. That's going to be one of those deals where it's going to need to be left at the shop, probably overnight. Might be something where you leave it overnight and then come down with them in the morning to confirm that you're hearing the same noise. So the trick will be to duplicate the noise and then be able to repetitively duplicate it. Maybe somebody can go in and find something without actually hearing it. There's witness marks, especially if there's a bad component like a belt tensioner or something like that. But when it's doing it, what I'd like you to try and do is see how you can affect the noise. If you're in reverse backing out of the driveway and it starts doing it, Put it in neutral and see if it changes. See if you rev the engine. See if you can change the note. All those little details will help, right, Tim?
Yeah, and then also, too, if you said you were pulling out of your driveway, are you going straight out or are you turning? If you're doing it when you're turning and that makes a noise, that would help, too.
Yeah, so you could just certainly turn the wheel and see what happens. So hopefully that helps. We're going to stick with the Tahoe theme, and we're going to go with Tim. Oh, not Tahoe necessarily, but GM Chevrolet. And we're going to get Tim that's got a Chevy Tahoe out in Gilbert. Tim, how can we help you today?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Great. Thank you.
07 Tahoe, 5.3 automatic transmission, and for about the last year or so, when I'm slowing down, like coming to a red light, I hit about 25 miles an hour, trending down, that the entire vehicle shudders momentarily, and it only happens when it's in drive.
Coming to a stop, right?
What's that?
And it does it when you're coming to a stop, right?
Coming to a stop, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep. And it lasts about 3 or 4 seconds, and then goes away. But if I put it in low or if I put it in towing mode, it doesn't happen at all.
I think I know exactly what this is, but I can't tell you exactly what it is. I've experienced this problem. I know Dave at Tri-City Transmission has had this. We went back and forth with him, and I test drove a car with him this a couple years ago. And I think there's something to do on this car with the cylinder killing, where it's displacement on demand, and it's misfiring as you're coming to an idle. I would, if I were you,
it does have the V8. It'll drop the V4 if I'm coasting. Yeah, okay.
Exactly. Yeah. What I would do, call Tri-City Transmission on Monday morning, wait till the middle of the day, maybe ask for Dave, and tell him that you called in the radio and you have this symptom, and I think Dave will be able to get that fixed for you.
Appreciate the help, guys.
But I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So, Tim, thanks for the call. Glad we could help you. We are going to grab Kyle real quick. I might even be going out on a limb here. Kyle, less than 5 seconds. What do you got?
Yes, sir. I've got a Hyundai Sonata 2012, and when I turn the steering wheel left or right, there's like some give in the steering column. I didn't know if that was maybe something loose or what, because when I turn it, it's like loose before it actually starts turning the wheels, and then it hits and starts turning.
Yeah, now, not normally, shouldn't have that. Someone's going to need to get in and look at that. Wiggle the steering wheel with the car not running and see if the tires are actually moving. If there's a lot of gap and a lot of free play, maybe some steering linkage or something like that, certainly needs to be inspected to make sure you're safe. So thanks, Kyle. Thanks for calling in. Bree, thanks for keeping us on time. Carrie, thanks for help with the topic. Tim, thank you for coming in.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. Enjoy your weekend and go for a bike ride over there at Most Hated.